So it's kind of weird because when people say they're pregnant, the first thought that runs through my mind is, how the hell did that happen? So, and I'm not talking about the mechanics. I had that explained to me when I was 27. So, it's on my honeymoon. It was a PowerPoint presentation. I thought the bellhop did a hell of a job. So, no, it's more like the situation. Was it like regular Thursday sex, or was it breakfast table sex, or, you know, was it play date sex, or whatever? It just, you know, those types of things. You know, it's kind of weird. With my, you know, my wife and I have 3 kids. We had 3 kids actually in 39 months. Then we discovered what was causing the problem, and I told the neighbor he had to move. So that's not true. He's a great neighbor. I'd never ask him to move. So, but our children were not conceived in any kind of unique way. Believe me, if it had been breakfast table sex, I would have left clues. So, this is my son, Jimmy Dean, and my other son, Benedict. This is my daughter, Little Debbie, and Jemima. So, which, I know Jemima's not a very good name for a girl, but no dad would ever name their girl Trix. You know what I mean? No one wants to hear, I'm eating Trix. Like, that's just not something you want to hear. Something, Brian, you're going to find out, once you have children, having sex gets a little tricky after that. So, my wife and I became CIA agents after a while, planning out covert operations. You have to learn to use the friends of your enemies. So in our case, that was Bob the Builder and Dora the Explorer. So, all right, Operation Quickie will begin at 11. So that's when Dora comes on. Just remember, you only got 2 minutes once that bitch finds the map. So, now our children are grown, so my wife and I don't have sex anymore. So, that's not true. We don't have sex with each other. So, the neighbor's glad he stayed. The other day, I caught a little snippet of Bob the Builder. I started getting aroused. Like, can we fix it? Oh, Bob, yes, we can. So, who needs Pornhub when you got Nick Jr. going for you? So, all of this started because I was looking for the woman of my dreams. I dreamt of a woman who would willingly want to touch the most disgusting parts of me and was just mildly controlling. So, my dating history was a lot like March Madness, a lot of one and done. But eventually I found someone willing to go on a second date. I'm like, hey, she's got potential. So, you start checking off all the boxes. Jesus freak, no. Felonies, no. Goat sacrifices, 0. So, but to be honest, let's face it, for me, that list kind of starts and stops with the willingness to touch my most disgusting parts. So, no need to overthink that too much. So, then you say something like, hey, let's get married. So, why? Because there's a fine line between being a fiancé and a stalker. So, and you send out the announcements and you take the picture, and you look at the front of the picture, oh, it's all filled with love. And then you turn it over. And that's your invitation to hell. Because now the 2 of you are going to go 12 rounds over how to fold a towel. And you will discover to your horror that she is a tri-folded woman and you are a 4-folded man. And she doesn't want to hear any shit about how it's easier to 4-fold a towel. This is what fits in a linen closet. My mother was a 4-folder. Are you telling me my mother's stupid? All of a sudden you are willing to defend the honor of a woman who can teach guilt lessons to the Catholic Church. A woman that only complained that I never called enough, never wrote enough. But that's the hill you're willing to die on for a 4-folded towel. Update, we are now a tri-folded family, so. But if it isn't towels, it'll be the dishwasher. The battle of ADD versus OCD. So, what were you thinking when you loaded this? Like, next time take some Ritalin. My wife turned into like a German guard from a POW camp. 9! Describe an addition before you load interaction! Like, I have no idea what you just said, but you need to chill the hell out. So, all these people put these posts on Facebook. I'm going to marry my best friend. Bullshit! That's going to be your spouse. No, look it, I'm living proof that gay is not a choice, because if it was, I would have married my best friend. Between the 2 of us, we got 2 towels. Who the hell needs a linen closet? Paper plates don't go into the dishwasher, and I wouldn't have to explain why blowjobs are the greatest thing ever. So, look, look it, if your best friend eats the last of the ice cream, you might get mad, you might let it go. But if your spouse eats the last of the ice cream, oh, let the conspiracy theories reign. You knew I was saving that. You ate that on purpose. I have no idea what you're talking about, but my bowl was in the upper rack of the dishwasher. So, oh, it's on now. We're going to throw down, bitches. And she's going to bring up stuff I'm sure never happened, but she's the only one that remembers it. And we're going to pull out the scorecard, and we are going to battle to the death. Because I'm like 0 for 84, and I would have won just one time. So we're going to talk about toilet seats and toothpaste covers and nail clipping and that disgusting thing you do with a toothpick after every fucking meal. Oh, it is to the death. Yes. I can picture myself in a casket and my wife taking a tri-folded towel and tucking it next to me and saying, enjoy that for all eternity, you son of a bitch. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And I'll be looking down from heaven going, well played, well played. So, people get all worked up about fighting, but if you can't fight with your spouse, who can you fight with? She may call you an asshole at 10 o'clock, but when your kid is projectile vomiting at midnight, you're back to being a team again. So, just gotta fight fair. No B words, no C words, and don't compare her to her mother. That will get you a second asshole in a big hurry. So, if you do it right, then it leads to some good old angry loving, and then she gets pregnant, and then people wonder why your kid is named Kenmore. So that's. I've been married for 24 years. It's kind of like a car where you've made all the payments on it. Like you worked your ass off to make those payments. You ain't gonna turn it in just because it makes some funny noises. So I'm gonna leave you with this story. All right, this wraps up everything perfect. So the other night, my wife came home, and she caught me watching Say Yes to the Dress, a program that I told her that no man would ever watch. And I swear to God, I wish she had caught me watching porn. Just like that would have been so much better. And the mirror guys know what I'm talking about. It's not the embarrassment at that moment that you worry about. It's the embarrassment that you know is coming. Like a time bomb, but you don't know what the clock is going to read. And you're a man. So then you forget about it. And a couple months go by. Then you're out with friends. And then the master comes along and rips off your balls. Casually. Oh, I never worry about Bill being the father of the bride. The other day I saw him watching Say Yes to the Dress, and he had a little tear in his eye. Ah! And I look at my wife without saying a word. You are dead to me, is that so? And they start in with, all my friends start in with, oh, show us your panties, because obviously your wife wears the pants. Would you like us to get a little bowl of milk for you? Because that's what little pussies drink. And I'm trying to deflect. I was watching Rudy. It was at the end. I wouldn't watch any of that stuff. But they keep on and keep on, and finally, yes! Yes, I was watching it! It was Becky was the bride, and Amber was in front, and Amber was being a real bitch! There's Becky, she's got like this mermaid dress on with the sweetheart neckline, and she's crying because that's the dress her mother wanted her to wear. She wanted Randy to take her out. She goes out, and there's Amber sitting on the couch. I don't like that dress. She should wear a ball gown. I think she looked fat. Amber, you are such a bitch, Amber. Oh, I hope your fiance leaves you at the altar. That's what I hope. Then you can feel what it's like to have a blade of cold steel shoving you back and twisted. Amber, you are a bitch. Becky, you are a princess. You are a princess. And I look, and the room is dead silent. And my wife looks at me without saying a word and says, how's that ice cream tasting now? So, all right, everybody, my name is Bill Morrison. Thank you.